So many of y'all have asked me to share my simple makeup routine. So today I'm going to walk you through everything that I do. Raza is having a really good sale in case any of y'all were waiting to pick some up. Now may be the chance. Now, Araza is not sponsoring this video. It is just the makeup, the natural makeup that I actually use. In just a minute, I'll have those promotional codes and I will have all that linked in the description if you want to go check that out. For now, we'll go back to a little bit earlier and y'all can get all up in my business and see me without any makeup on. Only thing I've done is warm washcloth on my face, and I've talked about that in my oil cleansing video. And I've used my glycerin and rose water spray. So the first thing I'm going to do is I like to use a foundation brush. This is the Araza Coconut Cream Foundation. I've talked about this before in other videos, and the shade that I use is 300. So I'm just going to load my foundation brush, and this is a new brush, so it looks much cleaner than the last one I showed you. And I'm just going to this is a cream foundation. It is buildable. So you can just add to the coverage, the more coverage you think you may need. Now, I'll probably add a little more here in a minute. I do a lot with the highlighter, the concealer. I use it sort of as a concealer and a highlighter. But let me show you a little trick I do. My gray's growing in a little bit. Now, when I first put this on, it looks a little moist and dewy. I personally did not apply any kind of oil or moisturizer. I only used that hydrating mist beforehand. Now the foundation, with it being a cream foundation and it has a lot of really nice ingredients in it, that is going to act as my skincare, and that's what it's designed to do. So that's why I just used that hydrating mist. Now I usually use a different brush for my concealer, and so I'm going to try theirs and I'll let you know what I think. I may go back and get mine. Foundation has non-nano zinc oxide, and that will protect against UV and blue light rays. It also protects the natural skin barrier, and you know that is hugely important to me. So all I'm doing here with the foundation or the highlighter, all I do is I will hit under the eyes, and if you'll see right here, I sleep on my left side, so I'll have like a little bag and redness. So anything I'm wanting to kind of make disappear. So under the eyes and then up around here. This is acting also as a highlighter. We'll blend this all in a minute. I hit right here. Got some little lines right there. Now anywhere I see dark, so I've got a little bag right here and it places a shadow, and then right in here it places a shadow. I will hit this. And then I have little indentations where my glasses sit all the time. And I swear, as I get older, my nose is getting bigger. So I'm just kind of hitting a little lightness in these shadows. I have some broken capillaries underneath my nose, and then above my lip, just a little highlight. And in these folds a little bit, and here. Anything that is shadowed or looks like a dark crease, I put a little lighter concealer there. So, and I feel like I've gone a little heavy trying to show you what all I do. And I have a little bump here, little spot there. Then I have this poofy kabuki brush that I always use. I haven't decided with their brush what I want to use, but what I do is I come in with my kabuki brush. I'll have to get more familiar with their brushes. And then everywhere I've tapped that, I'm just blending it. I'm not rubbing it, I'm just blending it. So, all right. Again, if you felt like you wanted a little more coverage, you could come in. Now, I don't really do much contouring and highlighting. That's about the gist of it. But I've found with a creamy foundation and the creamy concealer, these fine lines right in here, it doesn't accentuate them as bad. For me, if I put powder on those areas, then I feel like it just accentuates the creases. Like I said, I don't do any real contouring, sort of. I like a little highlight here, and I'm not using a highlighter. I'm just using my lighter shade of my concealer. And I'm a little dark here. And then down the bridge of my nose, I highlight that. And then on the sides, like I said, I think that thing's getting bigger the older I get. So now that's it. I'm going to come in with the blush. And if you're new here, I use my blush. I used to use lipstick, but now I use my blush. I use it for lips, cheeks, and eyeshadow. The closest I come to contouring, and I use my fingers, I probably shouldn't, is I will put, this is the Mango Cream Color Pot. This is the darker of the two blushes. Now, I only do this sometimes, and I'm doing this to show you what I would do. A lot of times, I will skip this step and just do the next step. So for now, in my crease area, and not all the way over, I'm keeping it just like, and I don't bring it way down here. I'm just keeping it like right here at this arch. Now, we're all so different. Our eyes are shaped so different. I like the rosy color on my eyes. I just feel like it brightens everything. I don't try to use, I don't use a shadow. And then see, you can see I have a hollow right here. I don't put this down in that. That's very 80s things. I'm sure you all remember doing that. I put it slightly above it, and that's kind of my dark contour. I don't contour hardly anything else. It all kind of comes together in a minute. It looks a little weird right now, but it'll all come together. This shade was called Rested, and then this one is Rosy. I'll take the Rosy, and I'm kind of just tapping it right here on the top part of my lid. And our anatomy's all a little different. That's why I never really did enjoy doing makeup on other people, because I really only know how my makeup works. But you're just adding a little bit of blush right here, and then a little right here on the cheeks. If you want to, you can come in with a little bit of the kabuki brush. I just come in, blend it a little bit. My goal is to go really simple and to try to not accentuate the fine lines, wrinkles, or the crepiness. And this is what I've found works best. We're just trying to make it look like you're just a little glowy and sun-kissed. And I know that takes a little getting used to for some people, but having it moist and glowy really does make a difference. Now, let's go to the eyebrows and eyeliner. This is hard for me to do on camera. If any of you remember, I wasn't going to recommend the eyebrow pencil because it had chewed up in my pencil sharpener. Well, that was a me problem. That was my pencil sharpener problem. One of the main things I heard from my clients all the time was they had issues with their eyebrows. Well, I'll tell you what, they are sisters, not twins. And if you treat them that way, I think that saves you a lot of headache. But you can see basically, oh, I have a little brush. Oh, you can see that I have sort of a sparse spot right here, and then I'm sparse right in here, and I have more up here on this one, but I'm a little sparse right here. So we're just going to try to correct that, And I don't draw mine in, I lightly do it. One of the things I would recommend if you've ever had trouble where you feel like you're choosing, see now I'm going to color in up here. If you ever feel like when you choose a eyebrow pencil shade, I'm going to stop right here. I'll put the shades that I use. This one is like the third from the lightest. One of the big mistakes I think a lot of people can make is that they try to go a little too dark on the eyebrow pencil. So my advice is pick the shade you think you should get and go lighter. And if you have a tendency to always pick too dark a shade, go 2 shades lighter. So after I draw that on, oh, another thing. If you line your little pencil, and if you don't have one of these, you can line it anything. But you go from like the corner of your nose, the corner of your eye, and that's where you're going to stop. If you drag that on down and draw that line down here, it gives the eye the appearance that it's droopy. We want to keep that upward angle. And that again is why I'll come back in. I'll come back in when I'm finished and I make sure I've got that lightness. And then I have that one little broken capillary and cover that. I do like this little brush. It does my little blending for me. Okay, other eye. See how I've stopped right there? That's it. And then I take my little brush and then we're just going to blend it out. That way it doesn't look drawn on. We've tinted the skin underneath. Where'd it go? And this little spot, it's a problem spot. So what I've done is I've had to compensate down here and compensate up here to help them look a little more uniform and look like sisters and not twins. This is just what I do. I know there are makeup-y people out there that could do something way cooler, but I'm not that cool. I'm just doing what I like. Now this looks like I'm putting on a lot, but it's not. It's like very little is coming off. And then I have a little moly thing right there. I will. And then again, where my glasses sit, I highlight those. Now that is almost all that I do. I have a little bit of a finishing powder, the natural clay powder that I quit using powder forever ago because it just does not work with my mature skin at all. But I'm liking this, but I use it very, very lightly, and I'll show you how. So for the lips, I got a new shade. This one is called Merlot, and this is their coconut color glossy balm. And this is the first time I've used this, so we'll see. But usually any of these pink tones work pretty good on me. Yeah, I probably wouldn't choose that for my everyday, but I like it. And then when I get done, sometimes I feel like I'll need just a little more pink. See, this side is not as pink. And sometimes I'll do right here. So I forgot to mention that foundation is a redness reducer. Now eyeliner, let me show you what I do. Now this one I did choose a little bit darker. I typically and have been using the same one for my brow. At this age, I don't want a drawn on eyeliner look. It took me years to get used to that, but now I have. However, my eyelashes are not what they used to be. So I find if I darken that lash line just a little, I'm not trying to draw a line, I'm just smudging on a little darker. Now you can see how that just kind of already, I think, makes that eye look a little more defined. And then I will come just along here. Typically I would just do this little outer edge. Now this eyeliner is, well, it's their brow pencil, but I use it for the eyeliner as well. It is made with avocado oil, I believe. Typically that's where I would stop. However, I have been wanting to try, so we'll see. Y'all can tell me what you think. This one is a little bit darker, and oh, that's a little dark. This little brush, eyeliner brush, I'm just going to blend that. But you can see it's not a harsh line at all. I also don't really do mascara on my lower lashes. I don't know if I like that. On the lower, instead of mascara, I don't mind a little bit of the brown in that lash line. It's a little more done up than I like to do. That might be nice. Typically, I like to just stop about halfway on that outer edge. This is a little darker. I usually don't come over this far with the darker. Sorry, this is hard to do. I'm not in my regular spot. I can't film in my regular spot. It's got a big old window behind me. It doesn't look good on camera. Now, mascara. That Araza does not have a mascara. Mascara is tough, and I have not found one that I would say is completely clean. Gosh, I bought this. I've had this a long time, and it's still going pretty good. And it's called Fit Glow Beauty, and I ordered it on Amazon, and I will link that. It has a fairly cleanish ingredient list. Now, I curled my eyelashes because, you know, every 80s girl needs to heat that eyelash curler with her curling iron and then curl her lashes. So I do my upper lashes. I used to not do anything on my lower lashes because it will make a mess down below the way my skin is now. But I will put a little in there, and then I come in with this little thing and I almost take it all off. Now, I've tried their powder and I didn't like how it looked on my fine lines, because you all know what I've talked about powder. This doesn't do that. And it kind of just mattes it a little bit. Now, if I use a whole lot of it, I don't like how it feels, and as the day wears on, it feels a little cakey. The way I do it, it really works. It has like a little screen here that just lets a little bit of it come out, and I want a little bit of that, so I do that, and then I will just touch this right here. Just kind of hit these shiny spots. And that's it. I can usually slap this on in 2 or 3 minutes when I'm not trying to show anybody how I'm doing it. That is it. I told y'all it was simple. I'll run through and give you some close-ups of exactly what I'm using and what the shades are, and let you look at the texture of it. Y'all have mentioned before that you like to see that. This is the natural clay finishing powder. It diffuses light and it gives you an airbrushed look. This is the Sweet Mint Lip Conditioner, and it hydrates, and it's just full of good essential fatty acids. This is the Coconut Glossy Color Balm, and it is really lightweight, moisturizing. It's really protective with superfoods. This is the color Merlot, and then this one is Skinny Dip. This is the Coconut Cream Concealer, and that's what I use to conceal and highlight, and this is in the shade Fair. And this is the Mango Cream Color Pot, and the first color I used, the darker shade, is Rested, and the lighter one is Rosy. Thanks to you all using my code and placing orders, Araza sent me a few things. Well, they sent me an email and told me I could pick out a few things. And one of the things, this is one of the things I picked out, and that is the coconut, or the lip conditioner. And I really like it. I've only used it a few times. It actually just arrived yesterday, so loving that. Would recommend that, and I think it's just like $8 or $12. I'll have to look, but very reasonable. Love it. I picked out the whole brush set. The foundation brush, I like it way better than the one that I've been using for years. I'd worn mine out. So very thankful to have that one. And like I said, this is for blush and a contouring brush. And I don't know, I'll get back with you on that. But very nice quality natural brushes. And I'd always use the smaller brush for the highlighting and concealer, and then I would come back and blend that. And this little brush kind of does both of that for me. So it's going to take me some getting used to. I'm an old creature of habit. But another thing that I did try is they have an oil. This is a citrus illuminating raw beauty oil, and it is lovely. And it smells really nice, light, fresh, and citrusy. And this is not something that I typically would have purchased on my own. I absolutely love it. I think it is very lovely. It's really nice. Now, one thing I would caution you against, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but they recommend that it can be used for a face oil, a cleansing oil. And y'all know I like to oil cleanse. And I would not recommend this for the cleansing oil. And the only reason I would not recommend it is the price. You do not need an expensive oil to cleanse your face. With all cleansers, what you're doing is you're removing makeup, dirt, oil, dead skin cells. And it's on and it's off. You don't need anything fancy. You just need something gentle and that protects that skin barrier. Now, this would do that. And if money's not an issue, then have at it. But I would highly recommend to just use it for a face oil. If you've never heard of that, I will link that video right here at the end, and I will link that in the description. I think you'd find it interesting, and I recommend you go check that out. I am so thankful, because without all of you using my little code and going and purchasing, they would never have sent me this stuff for free, and I probably would never have bought it. I'm pretty frugal, but I really, really do appreciate it. And now, when I run out of this, I would probably purchase it, because the fact that I had something that was convenient to just throw and take with me, big plus. The sale is going on today, June 17th through June 25th. That's June 2026, in case you're watching this later. And that code is all caps SUNSALE20, and I'll have that linked in the description for 20% off. By using my code, that just lets Araza know that you heard about their sale from me, and that just helps out my channel a little bit, and I really appreciate that help. Really, really appreciate you hanging out with me today. And I'll have a couple of these videos that I mentioned here for you to check out. I thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. My name's Loana, and I'll see you in the next video.